Yamaguchi Motorcycles of Japan began a trading partnership with Pabatco, an Oregon-based fertilizer and produce distributor, around 1961. Pabatco, or Pacific Basin Trading Company, set up over 400 dealerships for the motorcycles and traded produce for them to get around currency exchange restrictions that were in place at the time. The two Yamaguchi models that showed the most promise were the SPB 50 Scrambler and the step-through model. Initial sales were encouraging thanks to both the extensive dealer network that had been established and the bike's functionality. During 1961 and 1962, 5,000 to 6,000 Yamaguchi motorcycles were sold in the US. Limited numbers of a Yamaguchi 125 street bike and a 250 model were also imported. Surprisingly, in April of 1963, Yamaguchi stopped production and closed shop. Pabatco made an offer to Hidaka, who had been making the engines for Yamaguchi. Pabatco would design and market the bike, and Hidaka would manufacture and assemble them. Thus, the end to the Yamaguchi story. This is a 1962 Yamaguchi Autopet Sport. It is probably the most common Yamaguchi model imported into the US. The little 50cc single-cylinder two-stroke had 4.7 horsepower at 8,200 RPM. Its 4-speed gearbox has a synchro mesh clutch system that has a row of ball bearings that expand and engage the constant mesh gears. It is a mix of an auto clutch and slipper clutch all at once. After its initial use when starting, you really don't need to touch it. Its steel tube frame is ubiquitous of the era, and the whole package only weighs 138 pounds. With a top speed of 60 miles per hour and pretty decent steering, these little bikes were a promising and incredibly affordable get-around bike. These are pretty rare today, as so many of them have fallen by the wayside, but a fully restored Yamaguchi is a nice collectible machine, especially the 250cc model. The Yamaguchi story is reminiscent of post-war Italian motorcycles. They are made with what was available, and distribution was the key for success in the United States. Although the Yamaguchi brand eventually disappeared, it is a story of the initial inroads into America from the now prominent Japanese manufacturers.